There we are. We are live. Hello. Apologies that I'm kind of staticky. I'm overly obsessed with it. Probably no one cares as much as I do. But yeah, welcome to the live stream. Hello, everyone. Thanks for popping in with us. KaShay will be joining us in a moment when she pops on, so she will be here. But in the meantime, I thought I would let my guests introduce themselves, and I'll start. Yes, this is the right direction with Britt.
Hello, I'm Britt Writerly. Is that it? Wow, how are we introducing ourselves? My channel is Britt Writerly. I'm way new to author too, but I just started my channel in July. So that's me. I talk about books and culture and some writing projects.
Yay! Awesome. And which way should we go? Grayson, do you want to go?
Sure. What do, everybody? My name is Grayson Wilde, and I write with pride. I like diving into fantasies and into warm mugs of coffee. I'm currently working on Project Shadow, which talks about my transitional journey. That's going to talk about my ups and downs, the truths, the lows. I'm also working on a fantasy series and a short story that was actually the idea was given to me by Cash's stream. So because of y'all, I am doing a short story, which is actually going to link into my fantasy. So that's really fun. I'm excited about that. So yeah.
Cool. Awesome. And did you say aka Grapefry?
I've done this like quite a few times, and I still mess up the introduction part. I'm like, oh fuck, who am I? Sorry, I need to curse this out.
You can curse on here. I looked it up, and there's like very specific curse words you'll be demonetized for. So no F word, but everything else.
Okay, I'll remember that. My name is Davaisha. My channel is Grapefry. I write sometimes. I make videos sometimes, and that's basically all I got.
Sorry, I was checking in on KaShay. Awesome, that's so exciting. Ooh. We lost Britt for a moment, but she'll come back, and then I'll pop her back in. Really, the key is me noticing that the person is hanging out in the bottom instead of not realizing they're there. There we go.
Sorry, I pushed the button I shouldn't push. I was like, oh, I'll just log in. And then it was like, all right, log in over here. Because I couldn't figure out how to like respond in the chat. I'm sorry. Yeah. Please carry on.
That's totally okay. Yeah, thanks all of you for joining me. This is my like first live stream doing that's outside of a giant event, which for me is nice because then I don't have to be panicked about like 100+ people in the chat. And we can like be chill and like chatty and write and all of that. And that's really exciting. Also, which I forgot to say, though, Grayson, you did say what you were working on. What is everybody working on today? Start whomever.
I'm working. Okay. I knew it was going to happen regardless.
You go.
I am working on my Black speculative fiction serial, Tales of a Light of Black.
Ooh.
I'm working. God, what am I working on? I'm working on getting out of Act 1 of my contemporary fantasy story.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, hold on. KaShay is here.
Hi.
Hi. You're just in time to introduce yourself and say what you're working on.
Okay, awesome. Sorry I'm late, you guys. Hi, everybody. I'm KaShay. I write short stories, poetry, and the occasional blog post. Today, I am working on the first 2 blog posts for September, so that'll be what I'm working on. So,
yeah. Awesome. I am working on planning what I'm going to revise for my horror. I thought I was going to work on my sequel, but then my agent emailed me with my horror notes. And then I emailed my editor and I was like, so like when roughly might you expect this sequel? And she was like, would March be okay? And I was like, much more time than I to have. So I've just swapped fully. So I'm just going to be working on getting my horror edited. And people in the chat, what are you working on? I think some people are already saying what they're working on. Yeah, that makes sense. Biding your time because Millwordy is starting tomorrow, which is like, maybe I'm not. Does anybody else know more about this than me before I like go off to do my poor explanation?
All I know is just a million words in a year, and that to me is just give me anxiety just hearing it. I'm sorry.
That is my understanding. Wait, yes, Davaisha, you're doing Millwordy.
I was about to say, don't somebody on the screen just drop the video this week, like today exactly? I thought somebody did.
I'm doing like a truncated version. Like the overall goal is still 1 million words, but it's not like 1 million draft words. I'm really going to try to do 480,000.
Wow, that's wild.
Very specific.
Yeah, it's because there's a Facebook group called 12 Books in 12 Months, and I want to do that challenge, and their goal is 480,000 words. So like, I kind of just smushed the two together.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
and I'm actually starting in November with drafting something new. I want to get my like editing out of the way before I do that.
Okay, and that works too, because then it'll be like wrapped up in NaNoWriMo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's also my understanding of Millwordy, like what Grayson said, the 1 million words. But, well, yeah, 1 million words in a year. I was gonna say Kate Kavanaugh is also doing like, I guess, well, it's not really a truncated version because she is doing it, but like including editing and like, what's the something other than editing, drafting, and all of that. So. Yeah, fair.
I was in editing mode. She's like, "What's that other thing you do?"
Yeah, I was like, sometimes you do something that isn't editing forever, and what is that? Wrapping up my first draft. That's really exciting. Finishing up something. Contemporary fantasy.
Oh yay! I love that.
Yeah, that's also my jam.
Okay, question. Contemporary fantasy, urban fantasy, same thing, different things. That's a
different thing.
What is the
urban fantasy needs to be in like a major city. To my understanding, urban fantasy is like it must be in like a New York or Toronto, if you will, or a Chicago, or like a major metropolitan city, and contemporary fantasy is like all the rest of the places that are not cities.
I see.
Wow. Okay. Well, see, I'm glad I asked because I've heard people use them and I thought they were interchangeable. So I was like, yeah, Lizella know. She'll know.
That's why
I didn't say anything because I was like, I think they're the same thing.
Yeah, the minute details that I looked up because I was like, let me not query this wrong and say it's something it's not. So, yeah. Working on a Millwordy test run.
Alrighty.
There to like see how much you can get done in that time, if it's feasible. I find
what is this picture? What is this picture?
It looks like a rabbit.
It's a bunny in a mug.
Oh.
It's a bunny in
I
a
was gonna
mug.
say, I think it's Thomas.
It's because
the bunny is in the mug?
It's a bunny in a mug.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I could.
Oh, I see it now.
Okay, I honestly thought it was like a snake curled up. I need a nap, apparently.
Perception is everything.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was like Thomas.
So here's my thing about Millwordy, and so I was like when she announced it, I was like, yo, this is like kind of sort of what I've already been doing. So like I started using For the Words towards the end of NaNoWriMo, and so I've been tracking all my words since I started only writing in there and then moving it out like at the end of the day. And so right now I'm at 511,000 words. And so like I was like, I wanted to see how many I did in a year. And so I'm like, man, I want to like restart the clock on For the Words and do it from like September 1st to September 1st just to see like now. So yeah, that's kind of. I think that if you like want to do some tracking and stuff, for the words is like awesome for that. If you're doing Milwordy, I think it can help a lot because like I get to see my stats like per week, per month, like how I've done, and it keeps it all in there. So
I like for the words.
That's cool. I don't use anything else. I just use Scrivener, and I'm like set in my ways now. But that's cool that there's like something else otherwise that can help you track, especially tracking a goal of this magnitude. I like this.
Hi, bro.
The first book in a science fantasy series. That's exciting.
come through Avatar. I just every time I see this new Avatar, I love it. Like with her, like
The math of information. I lost my place. Oh, here we go. Summer writing project that turned into a full-blown novel.
Yay.
Sometimes the words get away. Editing. Some studying.
Amen.
Working on September schedule. Then back to cleaning. Cleaning is good. Finishing up the first draft of the second book in the fantasy series. Can start Milwordy with a fresh project. Lots of people doing Milwordy. Good for you.
Good for y'all.
Who said that?
Not I.
Not I.
Not
Even with revising, like if I counted my words during revising, I don't know that that would help me. I mean, I am ridiculous. I did revise very little in my last draft of my horror, and then like 5,000 words showed up, and I was like, but how?
Okay.
But still. Struggling with a super messy first draft of a mystery. Who among us does not have a messy first draft?
I wish I
Where
could
do
say
that at?
otherwise.
Yeah,
Mhm.
drafting clean is not my thing.
Mm-mm.
Okay, Camila's doing 500 words written and 500,000 words written and 500,000 words read. That's cool.
Oh,
I
I
really
like that.
like that system.
Yes.
Because then you're like doing your book goal and your writing goal.
Yeah. I'm about to be reading the same 10 books for the next 2 years, but that's, I chose that life for myself.
Yeah, I'm bad.
I haven't read a book since
one book in a
March.
day.
I'm in such a slump.
It's like, but that's like a legitimate, like, we all know what went down in March.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right now.
things were different. I think
Please,
that's,
things different now.
yeah.
Feel like,
Still,
let me fix myself in my chair. I don't know.
oh gosh.
Word, Darian. I just heard about Milwordy 5 seconds ago on this thing, and I'm like, I don't think she's up for that. Mm-mm.
Gosh. Oh, I think people are. Oh God, how do I work this thingy? Like, I'm still learning how to use the chat stuff, people.
I don't even think I'm signed into this thing.
Well, the thing on the side, I think only I can see / use.
Oh, okay. I saw Grayson speaking in the chat. I'm like, how Grayson do that? How he get over there?
you gotta get in YouTube. You gotta open your YouTube.
Yeah, I probably should have explained that when you came on early instead of griping about how my internet wasn't good.
I see.
Yeah, lots of people doing Milwordy, which is exciting.
Yeah, I really decided to do it when I saw that a bunch of other people were doing it because I need the accountability of others.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's really why I thrive in Nano, because I'm like, everybody's doing Nano. So I can't just like I got to do something in that time.
Can't just do nothing.
Yeah. I really thrive on jumping that
Competition.
bandwagon. On what?
Competition.
No. I compete with no one except sometimes if I'm gonna like get into a sad spiral of comparison, then I do it. So I try not to.
I didn't realize that NaNoWriMo was a real competition until I started it. And then like 3 days later, someone was like, I won 100K. And I was like, wait, it's a real race?
Yeah.
I lost immediately.
I feel like it depends. I feel like some people are like, this race is real. And I'm just like, I just want to finish what I set out to finish.
I was on that team.
Yeah. People like finishing NaNoWriMo in like 5 days, that gives me stress.
I was like, okay, so we're not built the same way. That's fine.
I can't even finish an outline in 5 days. That's ridiculous.
It's a lot.
Well, I don't outline though.
I don't either. I try so hard. That's why I can't finish one in 5 days.
Mm-mm.
That's so exciting. I was like, a panther, a wild panther appears.
Also didn't know what that was until I got on NaNoWriMo. People were like, what are you, a pantser, a planner, or a planter? I was like, what? I know that we're writers, but that doesn't mean you can just make up literally whatever word you want to make up and then just roll with it like everyone knows what you're talking about. But then people responded and I was like, once again, I'm the only one in the dark. I see, okay.
I prefer discovery writer. That, like, to me sounds so much better and much more accurate.
It's cuter for sure.
I'm by the seat of my pants. Like, it's really like I'm on like a journey with the characters and they're telling me where to go and I'm just discovering the story. Like, that's legit what happens.
That's much nicer. I think that's a lot nicer. Because pantser kind of makes you seem like you don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
But that's none of their business, Davaisha. That's none of their business.
That part.
We're discovering. KaShay and I are discovering. Come join us in the discovery.
Yeah.
All right. I'll join.
It sucks when you plot it all out and then you still end up pantsing anyway.
Right. Like, that's what's happened. The times I've tried to plan it don't go nowhere near what I didn't plan. So it was just like, you know what? I'm going to stop stressing myself out because stick to this, and I'll never stick to it.
It's a waste of paper. And I really like my colored pens, so I'm not just going to use the ink for nothing.
That's how I do it, though. I'll plot out the whole thing, and then I just ignore a bunch of stuff. But I do use some of it, and so then I'm like, planter. But it's true. There have been times where I've planned out 5 chapters, and I ignore them all because I did one thing out of hand.
But see, my version of planning is like, so theater kid. So my version of planning is by acting out the entirety of the novel with me and the other me. So I just walk around my apartment. I live alone, so no one knows this. I just walk around my apartment like being all the characters, right? And then I'm diving around through the action scene. That is how I plan. I just do the whole thing, and then I'm like, yeah, that'll work. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so Britt, like, are you one of those? Because I'm one of the people that like I'm acting out like arguments so that I make sure I can like get it right. Like, I'm making sure like, she was like, no, come correct. Like, okay, I want to make sure I was not alone. Like,
100%. I gotta make sure I'm gonna win the argument. Oh yes.
See, I'm just screaming at my characters like, why would you do this? Why would you knew better? And I'm sitting there typing it out like you knew better. I'm sitting there typing out anyway, like, you stupid, but I love you. I can't believe you. And my fiance to the other side of the room, she doesn't even like blink anymore. She's like, okay.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
It's important that I know what's going on.
I'm more of a daydreamer. Like, I'll act out some things if I don't know like the logistics of the body movements or whatever, but I'll just like close my eyes and be like, okay, yeah, she okay, yeah, this happened. That works.
I don't
I'm a
do any of
daydream.
that. I just like sit and I'll type. And if I want to know what something looks like, I'll like Google a picture and I look at it. And I
I do
only
that.
say stuff aloud when I know it's like nonsense and I have to reread it to be 100% sure that I messed up my English. And that's it. So I feel very boring.
I'm a very extra dramatic person though, so that's just like it has to be at a 10 from the beginning.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm a very in my head kind of person, so like I'm daydreaming all the time. It just works.
Thanks, Eva, for the
interview
super chat and for popping in. Thanks. So are we ready for a sprint?
Oh gosh, I forgot all about that part.
That thing that we have to do that I like.
Yeah, because I definitely will be like, so about when your story changes, is it because you change it or because your characters change it? Because my characters change my story all the time. Like in Jesus Never Went to College, the main character is supposed to marry her boyfriend and live happily ever after. 12 chapters in, she ready to dump this boy, and I have no clue where that came from because it was not originally in my outline.
See, I like this thread, and I think we should chat about this thread, and then we'll do the sprint.
I don't think I've ever gone off outline like that before. Well, outline. Off what I have in my head.
Maybe in like draft 3 or 4, I'll be like, was that really maybe? So sometimes because I have to watch because I get annoyed with people like that. Like it don't really take nothing for me to be like, can you leave the room, please? Take a walk. So sometimes I'm like, am I annoyed with her boyfriend or is she annoyed with her boyfriend? I'm gonna break them up because I don't like dude, but she's okay with him. So I have to have a conversation with me and myself and then with me and my character, and then we go from there.
Then you can think about it.
Yeah,
I've had that before where I had like a multi-POV book and I was like, this character is the main character, and my other character popped up and she was like, ha, you thought I'm the main character. The story is
my
me.
story, bitch.
And then suddenly changed. I was like, yep, you are correct. This is your story. It is about you.
You're right.
Yeah.
I like those characters though. But I generally like I said, I think my author tube tag, I write multiple main characters. So it's all wordy like that.
Yeah. There's enough people.
This just makes me feel so good that I'm not alone. I love this. This just makes me feel not so alone in the world. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Grayson, are you ruled by your characters or do you have independence?
No, it's literally all my characters. Well, what I do for outlining is I'll put a basic idea of where I wanted to go, and I keep it as short as possible, no details. That allows me to do, any type of freedom. But then I tend to interview my characters. I sit down like, okay, it's time to make coffee. If I'm gonna do it, I bring out a notebook, I have a pen, I bring out coffee. I'm like, okay, who are you? Why do I need to tell the story? Why should I care?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I feel like I really don't need to tell it, I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is a waste of my time and my energy. Let me go to another character where I can actually put more energy into the story.
Yeah.
And then I actually talk it out loud. So once I get that done, I talk to my fans, say like, hey, does this sound weird? Is this something you would read? And then I turn around to my siblings like, hey guys, I have an idea.
Fair.
Yeah, I go through a whole process. Like, oh no, we're gonna sit down and talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, no, I think I lied. I think I have changed something because the character did something off the wall, and it was like the girls are supposed to be straight. That's how it always starts. They're supposed to be straight, but then I don't know, gets a little gay. I'm just like, whoo, did I do that?
See, I'm the opposite. I got rainbows from the get-go. You just see sparkles and rainbows and unicorns everywhere. And then it's like, oh, you're straight? Oh, how does that work? Like,
yeah, and this story is they're supposed to be straight. My other story, they were gay from the beginning, but this one just completely blew me. I was like, wow, okay, I didn't know y'all was doing that at the sleepovers.
I'm sick. She said it got a little gay.
Things changed.
Yeah, no. So like with the main character's boyfriend, like he's going to like seminary, like to a Baptist Bible college, and they've been together for like 3 years. She's just now realizing that that means he's going to be a pastor when he gets done with school, and she never realized that means that she would be a first lady. So that's why she wants to break up, because she's never wanted to be a first lady in somebody's church. And in my head, I'm like, in the 3 years y'all been together, this has never occurred to you. You know, never occurred to my character, according to what she telling me. This ain't the life I want for myself. And I'm like, well, y'all, I done had, ideas for future sequels and like short stories of y'all having grandkids, and it's not gonna happen. She's like legit eyeing another character that I never saw her dating.
Oh,
yeah.
Did she even break up with him yet?
Yeah, she's eyeing like her the Hispanic guy that is he's on the track team in her orientation group.
She's fucked.
She plotting.
Dang, she made her decision and was like, and I'm leaving right now. Like, I won't stay any longer.
Oh, awesome. Ali kept saying, I always replay scenes in my head, and they're not always in order to. Other times it's stuff that would involve me making a new story. Yeah, fair. I do a lot of, I'll like do a little bit of a check on a scene, and I'll run it through my head really quick and kind of see how I would like it to look. But I can't do that often because then I get bored and then I don't want to write it. So.
Yeah, I understand getting bored. That's why I jump from like project to project and never finish anything.
Yeah, it's shiny new idea syndrome is a thing.
I don't know that I have. I don't know. Like, I've been working on this thing. Like, when I hear people like Lizelle, so I was watching one of her videos, and she was talking about like writing multiple projects, and I was like, I'm trying to get off this one project I've been working on for 2 years. How y'all starting another one? I'm like, I feel like a stage 5 clinger on this manuscript. I really do. I'm like, I should probably give him some space. Not this much. I feel like I'm all over him.
I'm like, I gotta sell something at some point. I have no other job anymore.
We working and praying on that.
Yeah, I'm like, it's time. Yeah, so then I'm like, I gotta get going. I gotta get going on different stuff. And the hopping feels like doing something new because I've just like taken a break from something for a while to work on the other things. So then when I hop back, I feel like I'm doing something different as long as I'm like slowly moving in the direction I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let me start something then.
Yeah,
So I get.
I'm sorry, can we continue? So only one of my projects I have issues with when it comes to writing scenes. Like with my fantasies, I might get irritated. I mean, I can write the scenes. I'll get irritated, like, why are my characters doing this? This is not what I had planned for you. Like, I'll get irritated, but I have no issues writing them. It's only on my contemporary fiction that I have an issue. And that's the one where I'm talking about my.
And I was gonna just say, like, I get like Britt, where I'm like, ooh, I don't know what to do with this. I'm stuck, and then that's how I start the new project, so that like it gives me a break away from it. So like I've taken like a month and a half away from Jesus Never Went to College, but it's like the first thing I'm jumping in tomorrow. Like okay,
what is going on with you? Why can't I just?
I know where to go now to finish it. I gotta finish it, y'all. Like I want to be querying next year, so it's like I gotta finish it. So
yeah.
I figured out how to respond in the chat. Ooh, I feel so millennial.
It's happening.
It is. I feel like there's a delay, but I am still working on it.
Yeah, that's fine. Do we want to get into the sprint now?
We could do a sprint.
Let me. And now, of course, I'm like fiddling, trying to do this stuff. What do we want to do? Do we want to do like a warmy uppy one? We want to do like
I get
50,
warm.
we want to do 20, we want to do 10. What is the interest?
15.
15?
Yeah, like 15 is like in the middle.
Yeah, 15 sounds good.
Yes.
Perfect.
Split the difference.
Hold on. Figure my stuff out.
So Pax said, let's go ahead and do 30. Let's just do it.
Yeah,
What are we waiting on?
I say right now, I will never do 30-minute sprints. My max is 20.
Did someone say 65? Devin?
I saw that too. I scrolled right past it.
Y'all know,
Goes right
y'all know
past.
Devin don't got it all. Devin be saying anything and everything sometimes just to get a rise out of us. He make me laugh. It's never a stream without Devin. It truly is.
Davaisha said, I scrolled right past. I saw that, yeah.
Aha! It did it automatically.
Okay, all right.
Oh yes, I love this forest time you made.
Yes.
Yes, this is a timer that I made. I'm going to use it because it's mine.
I saw you uploaded it. I was like, is she gonna say something, or it's just the timer, or okay.
Yeah, no, just the time. Everybody seemed like they were making timers, and I wanted to hop on that bandwagon. It was a small timer. Never again. But yeah.
Okay.
That. So let's go ahead and get into this sprint.
All righty.
Let's go.
Hi.
And we're back.
Oh my god, the stupid thing will not stay. All right.
Add some gentle bird song.
Oh, the tweetling of the birds. I loved it.
Super cute.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you
so
film that video
how
yourself,
did things
like
go
just
for
in the woods
everyone?
for 15 minutes?
Yes, I did. Well, so explanation. Last year for NaNoWriMo was when I finished drafting my horror. And so, because I wanted to make a trailer for it.
So familiar. I was like, this looks like from her trailer.
Yes. So me and my boyfriend went out to the bush, as it's called in Northern Ontario, and filmed a bunch of that. And so I had all of these like leftover clips. And so I took a bunch of them and just like looped them essentially. And then, yeah, and then that's what I used for the wilderness timers, which I thought was kind of fun. But the bird song, if you have read the horror, is less gentle and lovely as it is here, but I didn't make that connection until after.
So when am I reading the horror, though? Slide it my way. I want to know this reference.
I'm working on it. Which is what I was doing during this sprint. My agent sent me email with a bunch of notes, which was originally anxiety-inducing because it was so very long. But in the email, she was like, I know this looks very long. These are actually very small tweaks. I just have a lot to say about it. And I was like, okay. And I calmed down a bit. But yeah, that's what I was doing. Just answering questions so I can sort out my thoughts. How did everybody else do?
I got called upstairs to go try on some shoes, so I dipped immediately. But then, you're right. Then I came back and I did some things.
Yay!
Like 6 words.
And were the shoes nice?
They were not my style. I will say that.
You took too long to answer the question. I was like, oh, for today.
No, they were like thigh-high leather heels. And I just that's not me.
It's a strong look.
Yes. Okay, cool.
One I'm not sure I could pull off in all 5 feet.
My friend from high school, she is like must be like right on 5 feet, and she's full blown goth, and she wears boots that go all the way up, and she looks great in them. So you don't gotta be tall to wear those boots.
Not if you can work them. I would not be wearing those though. I'm 5'10". We don't need any more boots in life.
Fair.
It's fine.
I mean,
Miss KaShay.
Tall women in heels is the best. Sorry.
So I did some admin stuff and answered some YouTube comments and wrote 120 words in 4 words.
Yay.
I brewed some tea and fussed up my characters.
Cool. Britt?
Yes, ma'am. I hopped on a call with my dean. So that's what happened. But I did open Tales of Eliza Black, and that felt really important. And I scrolled to the correct page.
Yes, every step is a step towards the end.
Yes. So I know what needs to happen during the next sprint, which is editing this scene that was like super, super long. Like I thought it was going to be like easy, not easy. I thought it was going to be easy to write a serial because like, oh, I'm just sharing 3 minutes of it's just a page and a half. And now I'm like, oh, it's easy. Okay, cool. I get it now because like it's difficult to compress enough. It's like for it to make sense and for it to be compelling and for it to finish what happened in the last one, for that to all happen in a page and a half. Sometimes it really is like cool. And sometimes it's like, I need 5 pages. Are you sure you only have 3 minutes?
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's hard.
Can we talk about this?
I'm not a condenser. I lack the ability to condense. This horror is getting dangerously close to 130,000 words. And my agent was like, let's not go above 130. And I was like, cool. And as I'm going through edits, I'm like, you're going to mess up. You need to figure out what you can get rid of because I can magically add like 4,000 words without trying for whatever reason. Why is that my special skill? But it's bad because then I have 130,000 word book.
Okay, so I have a question. Is this a result of the Chris Fox book, or were you doing this before that?
I was doing this before. I did that all on my own.
Mayor J. Blige.
They're just doing it faster.
A side effect of that book that I need to be prepared for. Let me know because I'm starting to read it tomorrow.
The book was actually
Warning labels.
Because I used that book for drafting on my sequel, and my sequel ended up being shorter than I thought. So it was helpful to me. The book I'm talking about is 5,000 words per hour by Chris Fox. I'm not sponsored. Perhaps I should be.
We're going to make that happen. We're going to be like, dang, I got a whole bunch of people to buy my books recently. How did that happen? Listen, Sandberry.
It's a cool $199, $215 Canadian, something around there. Very inexpensive and very helpful. I don't write 5,000 words per hour, but I do write 1,020 minutes. It's quite good. And I'm pleased with that. So it's pretty good. But yeah, no, I overwrite all on my own. That's me.
I am an underwriter. I can't.
It's hard because I feel like if you're an overwriter, you like envy an underwriter, but if you're an underwriter, you envy an overwriter, and like.
I'm an overwriter, like because I talk a lot, as you could probably tell. I talk a lot, so then I write a lot. It's like I want you to understand everything I'm feeling in my soul. So I just want to tell you everything I'm feeling in my soul. I just have to let you know how my soul quivered. You know, the word quiver is underused, I feel. But so I have to describe everything. But then I made an amazing discovery, which is I'm really good at editing myself down. So like my manuscript started at like 96, 8,000, whatever. And then when I got it back from my betas, it went down to 93, then it went down to 91. Now it's at 88,000. So like I can trim the hedges. Yes.
That's good. Chris Fox, 5,000 words per hour, apparently 19 cents on Kindle right now. 19 cents.
Going once, going twice.
Yeah, that never happens to me. Anytime I get edits, it just gets longer because people want me to explain things. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so then things get longer because I have to explain it. I've never once edited and had a book become shorter. Never once, except for one time in which my agent explicitly said, please make this shorter.
I just feel like I'm always on the quest for like the perfect words. So like I obsess over like a sentence at a time.
That makes sense when you're like trying to really nail it down. I just sit there and I'm like, ever.
But it is like I am also Davaisha. Like like when I listen to a book and I'm like, that was a good word. Use that. But then when I go back, I'm like, oh, my character wouldn't use that word though. Like it's fine. I'm not gonna force the issue. So like my characters, most of my 79% of my characters are way more carefree, fancy free than me.
Mhm.
So they don't care to use the words that I use. They just don't, which makes it easier to write because then I'm like, $5 word, and they're like, give me 1 cent of that word, and I'm cool, thank you. So I don't. Usually, I'm just like, how can I take this paragraph of description and say it in two sentences?
Yeah,
that's my word goal.
yeah, that's good. I should do more of that. But alas, I get away with it, so I continue to do it.
See, and that's what's like interesting to me is I've heard like advice about not using bigger words in fiction and things like that. And it's been a little frustrating for me because I was like a kid that grew up with vocabulary being very, very huge and using better words. Like when I got to grad school, I was looking for the Black Graduate Student Association. They were having a meeting. And so like I walked into the room and this guy was like, I'm trying to expand my vocabulary. I need to improve my diction. I was like, diction, yes. Nobody says that anymore. I'm in the right room with the right people. Like, and I wonder, like, for me, the way I grew up was just using better language and speaking words that aren't used as well was just impressed upon me so much. And I've noticed that in other Black writers that I've seen, that's very common in their works to use bigger words. And I just wonder, is that like a thing that you guys like do? Like you would use different words and then maybe you change them because of like what we've been told about vocabulary and them not being like using smaller words for readers and things like that. Because from what I'm hearing, most of us are big vocabulary people, and so that's what makes me wonder: is that a thing that you guys have experienced or thought about?
I think about it in the context. Ooh. Go ahead.
Nope,
go ahead.
Lizelle.
End up thinking about it like in the context of the character. For me, because I read a bunch when I was younger, like I just naturally ended up using larger words because they were just showing up in books, and I would read it, I would look it up, and I would think it was cool. So then it just kind of ended up being a part of my vocabulary. And I didn't notice it was strange until I would like say a word and someone would be like, who says that in real life? Right. I'd be like, I don't know. I
do.
Right. Not you. You don't do that? Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry you don't use the word. But then when I'm writing a character, especially like writing teen characters, depending on what sort of teen they are. So like for my debut, the way I've set up the school in the future as a thinly veiled attempt to not have to write teens in school, they don't necessarily have to go to school beyond a certain point. So she's done her minimum amount of credits, like the smallest amount she could do, and then she left school so that she can like help her family with their family business and work right away, because she's like, I can't do anything with school anyway. I'm not like smart enough or good enough, so there's no point in me continuing with school. So writing from her perspective, I know that she isn't going to be using certain words because she took not only the minimum amount of credits, but like whatever credits, they didn't matter to her that she took in school. So she just kind of took whatever. So I know she's not going to be pulling out like $5 words because that wasn't really something she cared about growing up. Unless they're to do with things like cooking, because that's her passion. So she knows a bunch of, like, she whipped out Bain Marie with no issue because she cooks, and like those are the terms that are kind of important to her. So I think about it in that way. Like if I have a character that I know like reads a lot or consumes a lot, then I'll give them all those words because I know they're reading them.
Right. Davaisha, what were you gonna say?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't remember.
This is why you should have gone first.
So what I tell you?
I talk all the time. I want
For me, come on, Davaisha. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, no, I was gonna say that yes, I read a lot as a child too, and so I would automatically pick up these words. And also, I was a weird kid who liked to read the dictionary. But I don't know, I feel like recently I've grown out of using big words a lot. I'm just so lazy with English now. I'm just like, and being in the South doesn't help. Being in the South does not help. So all my stories are set in the South. People talk like the people around me from the South. So I really think it's a thing for me, to write bigger words in the context. That made no sense. Go on, Britt.
No, it did, because I write all my stories in the South too, because I'm from Arkansas. I'm in Providence right now for grad school, but I'm in, should I say that on the internet? Don't come get me. Anyway, I'm from Arkansas, and no one ever writes stories about Arkansas. So out of a sense of rebellion, I place my stories in Arkansas. And yeah, like there's just the vocabulary that you just don't use. But so like, for my academic writing, I do have to use a certain level of language, and I can make up words. Like it's so fun in its own way. There is a bit of creativity you're allowed with like neologisms in academic writing that you don't really get the same bandwidth for in fiction writing. So I have to just remember like what I'm writing and who my audience is. I definitely, my best friend read my manuscript, right? And so she read it and she was like, is this for teenagers or? I'm not sure what this word is. Maybe I don't know what this word means, but I now don't understand this entire sentence. And I was like, I don't even remember what the word was, but for me, I was like, was that not okay to say? So then I had to just really like go back. But so to answer KaShay's short question with the short answer, I funnel all of my big words into my academic writing where it's like expected / demanded. And then if I have a character, like I have a character who wants to be a lawyer when she grows up. So she is she's reading those books, she's studying a lot, like she's doing that. I funnel all of my $5 words through her vocabulary when necessary, because she's also still in Arkansas.
That's a good cheat.
Yeah, that is good. Also, bye. Though you might be gone already. Thanks for coming. Yeah. I think like the teens like that, I feel like teens can read words that are larger than I think people think they can in like those sorts of books. So I'm always kind of like, when people say that, because especially when I think of like teens in the US that are like doing SATs with specific vocabulary sections, I'm like, you must know a lot more words. But I don't know. I loved that as a kid, and I would just learn words through context because I was too lazy to look them up in the dictionary. The opposite of the dictionary.
Part of the reason I was asking is I was like a big fan of the Lemony Snicket books, and I know me and Grapefry kind of talked about this in the stream one time, and I loved how he put words in that most kids around the age reading those would not know, explain how they were used, and then use them in a sentence and work that throughout the book. And that was like my context for that type of thing. So when I start writing and like get into the YouTube side of writing, and people talk about like not doing that, I'm like, he made a whole series off of doing that, and it's like still making him money. So it was just one of those things where I was like curious. So
yeah,
yes, truly. And I used to love those are my favorite books. Like not Lemony Snicket in particular, although I did love me a good Lemony Snicket book. But like literally, I still remember learning words from his titles. Like I love those little kids. Like they have the best adventures. They have vocabulary like austere. I know what austere means today for Lemony Snicket. I'm not gonna lie about it. Like
Ersatz, the Ersatz elevator. Like what the why? What did you do this for? Because you wanted to educate children in a great way, and I love it.
Yeah, I love that series.
Yes, I just need to know when the permission got pulled. Like when did it stop being okay for us to do that? Because I looked forward to it.
Yeah, I do find that, and like I find it such a weird balance. But like I find like I don't read a ton of middle grade, but I find that like there's like this quality of middle grade that either is like feels accurate for kids those age or feels so much lower. Like feels like it was for like 7 and 8-year-olds instead of like 12 and 13-year-olds. But that gets into the whole publishing of like kids reading up, and like they're not expecting 13 to 12-year-olds to read it. They're expecting 13 to 12-year-olds to already be reading, like, who knows, because YA protagonists are 16 and 17, so they're not reading 14 and 15-year-olds, but they're expecting that younger kids are reading up and reading middle grade. So they're like catering to them, but if they're reading up, don't they want that level?
Right.
So it's a very strange publishing thing that doesn't make sense to me.
I didn't know that's what the reason was.
One of my characters in Jesus Never Went to College is from Arkansas.
Yeah, they are.
I'm from Oklahoma, and I have family in Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, Arkansas, Missouri. So all of my characters are from those states because I know those states well. So when he's like Arkansas, I was like, my best friend lives in Arkansas. So.
Boom! We in here. Go ahead and get published. I buy the book.
Taylor talked about loving Arkansas.
Listen, I have literally never gotten as much Arkansas love. Literally, my best friend will still call her Arkansas just to get at me.
Wow.
It's pettiness of the highest order.
Oh gosh.
American confusion.
I'm saying Catherine here, yeah, interesting time selling MG. So right for upper MG with large words. I feel like you never know. Publishing is so all over the place, but I just noticed weirdly that in like some of the middle grade I'd read, it seemed so much younger than it felt like. But that was my own struggle, and that's why I gave up on my MG, because I was like, I can't. Let me go back to my 16, 17-year-olds.
Truly.
Oh, Alice was talking about, we did this too, where like in school you would like highlight words you didn't know in the books and then you would learn them. But Alice didn't learn any words.
Alice is from Canada like you, so that right.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Someone commented on one of my videos and they were like, I'm from like the same very small town you're in. And I was like, I accidentally said the name in a video and I didn't mean to, but it's too late now. I'll just assume they aren't going to come find me. So, you know.
We're here, Lizelle. I hope we don't get taken.
The protection of a small town is that everybody would notice if I went missing. So I'm protected by that.
I live in a small town too, but over here they don't care about Black girls, so nobody would know Monday's not coming okay. That's all.
Yeah, no. This one, there's enough people related to my boyfriend that I'm like, somebody would care. Even if it wasn't an inclination, they would, because they'd be like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so's girlfriend.
If I don't upload for 2 weeks, just know.
Yeah. That's what's going on.
That's what's going on.
Lots of Canadians in the chats.
Okay, look at that.
How many Canadians are in the chat? Safely shout out where in Canada you're from. Vague, province-wide.
Right. Don't give no zip codes.
Territory-wide, sorry. Territories, I was earlier explaining province. Territory is another one like a province, but I don't know why a territory. I learned it and then I forgot.
I see.
But there's 3 of them. And one of them is real big. It's like basically the whole of northern Canada. But yeah.
Alrighty. I want to go to Canada.
It's nice in the summer.
Regina, use a real one. Yes, come looking for me, please. Call somebody. Wait, see. Regina said, how can I help you?
Ever since I seen you in my chat, like I'm gonna be looking for you like every week. Like, oh, Thursday chats. I'm used to seeing Britt. She not here. Let me send her a message.
Yeah.
You good? You still alive? She ain't responded in 3 days. Okay, y'all. We need a search
Call
party.
somebody in.
We need somebody.
Yeah. check in.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Y'all know I'm loud. If you don't hear me, something happened.
we got one Canadian chime in. The rest are silent now. They were like, no. It was all just told us to be kidnapped.
Said I can't claim it.
Oh gosh. Are we ready for another sprint?
I'm ready. I'm on the right page.
20-minute one this time.
Let's do it.
If I can locate. There we go.
I thought Davaisha was dabbing for a second, but I think she's just coughing.
Coughing appropriately?
Yeah, I was coughing. Sorry.
Okay, I see.
I don't have corona. I just have drywall in my lungs. We were remodeling the basement this weekend, so I'm like fiberglass and drywall.
No lie, I did vlog and I coughed on it, but I couldn't figure out how to like cut it out without it looking weird, and so I just had to put like that was not a Rona cough on the screen, so like everybody knew I'm good, you know.
I feel like I watched that. Was that the 12-hour relay vlog? I watched that. I was like, that's hilarious.
Okay, back to the great outdoors.
Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Oh, there we go. Welcome back. How was the sprint for you?
I copied and pasted 900 words and then wrote 80. I also got some rough
That works. That's movement.
Honestly, I got lost. I got lost
also
in my
have
tea.
ruffles, but I'm not. You got lost in what?
In my tea. I brewed some tea earlier. As soon as I took a sip, I'm like, oh, well, I'm done. And I started, it's just so good.
Oh my god,
gosh.
I had a
That's awesome.
mishap this morning with tea.
Ugh.
Ugh.
I seen that, and I was like on your Instagram, and he was like, I spilled tea literally. I was like, I love it. I don't love that you spilled the tea. I just love the like literally part. Let me make sure I make that clear real quick.
Amazing.
I got another 150 words. The blog post is like coming to an end. I don't want it to be too long. Just welcome to September, everybody. Like kind of that thing.
September Tastemaker. Cool. I'm still. Well, I went and I had to add chapter numbers to all my folders for my chapters because I had to make my chapter names dates for the book. And so then they don't have numbers. But then the problem is I have a list of chapter summaries and they're by number. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I had to add all the numbers back in. So I'll ultimately have to take them out later, which is annoying, but I chose this. So, but otherwise, I finished answering all my agents' little questions and like organizing my thoughts. And now I'm just trying to figure out some ramping up points, as it were, because my midpoint is feeling a little tonally flat. And my agent, her suggestion was to try and like ramp up the tension and the main characters needing to defeat this foe and like ramp that up a bit more. So I was just trying to figure out where I can do that. Yeah, that was it. Oh, Amy Lee's talking about KaShay's Wattpad account. She posted a short story there. It's a horror short story.
Oh my god,
it's very good.
Yes,
What'd you say? Yeah, Davaisha. Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
I said, oh my gosh, it is Monday. I have to go check that out. Let me pull it right now.
Shout out to Lizelle, Grayson, Sid, Omaro, I'm trying to see Becca. All these people read it the first one of the drafts before the final draft, and they gave me feedback. So I wouldn't have got to this final draft without their help. So shout out to all you guys for helping me out. You guys, it's my first time putting anything out there in the world fiction wise, and y'all helped me, and I'm so thankful to y'all. So
yeah,
just wanted to make sure I said that.
It's so good. Yeah, definitely check it out and go read it. KaShay, drop that link somewhere. Drop the link.
I got you.
Oh yeah, so that was really cool. People's words. Yep, people are writing, getting those words done. Words 101, 746 words. Kaylin's working on a newsletter. Do any of you have newsletters? On a newsletter.
It's a goal of mine to do, but I feel like since I have like a blog and I'm trying to like do it 3 times a week, like if I could just get people to the blog, then I won't necessarily need it. But it is something I'm like toying with the idea about.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, a newsletter is a 2021 goal for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hi. How did your sprint go? Yes, Britt.
Okay, sorry. I had my computer muted for a second, and I was like, I hope no one spoke to me when I came back on. Okay, it went fine. I typed some words, probably like 14. But you know, when you open it and you're like, okay, I'm about to start writing, and then you realize you gotta read what you already wrote because you're like, wait, what happened? Where am I?
Yeah.
That happened to me just now. So now we're back. Now I know where I am in the process. You know, she's caught up on her own story and stuff. And they're in a cafe in South Korea
Oh, exciting.
with a bodyguard named Kale.
Fun. I would love to go to South Korea.
I'm just interested in South Korea right now because they're the only people like who did not shut down their entire world for Corona. Like they shut down for like 20 days.
Yeah, that's the thing. People were like, "Oh yeah, we'll like do all your stuff."
I'm just like, why can't we just be like South Korea though? Like, why can't we do massive testing? But like 5 days into Corona, they were like, we ran out of tests.
Yeah.
I'm like, America, you're the biggest catfisher. I'm done with you. Like, you are nobody's greatest nothing. Get out of here, please. Your profile picture and your profile account information, it don't match. Like, it doesn't match. I feel bamboozled. Every single day I feel bamboozled. I wake up here.
Oh God.
I've really considered like doing the teaching in South Korea because I've had so many friends who have left college and went to teach over there, and I thought like so much about it because they just have really, really great experiences life-wise. And like I studied abroad in Greece, but it's not the same, you know. So like y'all talking about that, it's like, man, there goes that idea in the back of my head again. You know, you kind of want to look into that and find out if you could still do that for a couple years.
Yeah, okay, that'd be really cool.
That would be the move. Yes.
Yeah, I had a similar thought, but I can't be nobody's teacher.
Yeah,
and I thought the same way, but I was like, schools in other countries are so much different from here, so I bet I wouldn't have like the same like apprehensions. Because like for me, it's like students talking to me like they grown and not being grown that like worries me. And I feel like in other countries that won't be a thing because they have respect for authority that we just don't have around here like that.
I will fight a 13-year-old.
Right? Like I don't wanna go to jail because yo 17-year-old then came at me sideways and I didn't had to like patiently tell them to go take a seat. Like I don't want those problems. So but I've watched like videos of like teachers in other countries and their school systems are so different from ours. I don't think it would be as problematic, but who knows?
Oh my gosh. The patience of teachers. I used to do hearing and vision testing in schools with like kids, and I would have to like get them to pay attention to like do the testing properly. And like with kindergartners, they weren't even grown yet. Kindergartners. And I have to like test them all in this room. You have to be quiet. And this one kid just like kept piping up. And I finally stared at him and I said, "Quiet." And he just like so what? Like he was like the life flew out of him.
You give up the whole ghost.
And then he was quiet and I was like, I can't. This isn't for me. I don't have the patience for this. I don't have the right disposition. I'm over here scaring children.
I don't. But see, my dad is a high school English teacher. And, you know, respect for him. Because I was like, yeah, when I was in middle school, I was like, maybe I could do high school English. And then I got to high school and I was like, I'm too cute to go to jail. And if I'm in high school knowing that you're like out of here, when I get to be a real adult and you talking to me like a real adult, I'm going to want to lay hands on you like you're a real adult, but you're not. You got a minor body and a major mouth. I can't handle it. I'm not going to be able to handle it. I'm not going to be able to handle it. So I was like, well, let me do college. So then I can just be like, you can leave my classroom and there's going to be no truancy issues. Like,
yeah,
that's why I'm in graduate school right now, because I don't want to fight no 17-year-olds. That's the whole reason I'm here.
Do college, like, So like the biggest extent I had is I was a STEM coordinator for Sylvan for one of like Sylvan Learning Center, one of their corporate offices, and so like I was doing PSAT, SAT like training for high school students, and like they're like, oh, you must have been like really popular in high school and da. I know what is popular with y'all now was not popular when we were in high school. Like everybody loves anime now. It wasn't a thing when we were in high school. Everybody's hair is natural now. It wasn't a thing when I was in high school. Like these are completely different things. Like stuff changes super fast.
Yeah. Oh, it's wild. I used to print out a heart with Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
And I would wear a different face of Edward every day of the week.
Mood shirts.
And I was not popular.
Oh my God, Lizelle.
Listen, Lizelle said, I don't care. See me, love me.
You really went there. I'm here for it.
Yeah, she did. Commitment.
Crush, and that was my pick. And I needed other people to know.
You have to proclaim your love. When it's real love, you want to share it.
Yeah, but people were not thinking that was cool.
Forget them. They don't know him like you know him. That's all that is.
Oh man.
Who I think it was Alice Cho that said it. I feel bad for the students in the U.S. It seems like your school system fails them. Well, Alice. When you're right, you're right.
No lie.
That's a I ain't got no tea, but if I did, it would be hot moment. Like, man, our school systems are ridiculous. At one point in time, they were like, all you need is a high school diploma to teach high school. Wait, what?
Yep.
Wait, what? No.
Shamelessly doing the least. I'm like, wow.
Our education system, like, it punishes you for, quote unquote, being too slow, and then punishes you for trying to get ahead.
Please don't get me on our education, because I'm gonna have a blackout moment. Just start talking about how it's fails black boys and girls, and I don't know if this is the channel for that. I'm just gonna not do it. Like, oh, please don't get me into underpreparing Black students on purpose. Let's not.
So I'm feeling that we need to have a Black education chat one of these days.
Let's do it.
I'm with it.
Yes.
I'm with it.
I'm here for it. Let's do it. I just TA'd for a class called How Structural Racism Works. And it's so interesting having that class with a bunch of white kids at an Ivy League institution. I mean, it's also like trippy being their TA, because they're processing some things, right? And they're looking you in your black face and they're like, did you know this? And it's like, now Shelby.
No, not Shelby.
When they come to you with something they've just now learned that we've known since we were kids, and they're like shocked, and you're like looking like, how do I not show that I'm not shocked and don't make it look like I think you look dumb? But like the work that we have to do into our facial expressions when that stuff happens is like an exercise workout. Right? Like it's hard. It's hard.
To hold my face in check, I need a whole check. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't hold my face in check. My whole feelings are on my face. Like someone's like, did you know about sundown towns? And I'm looking at him in the face like, honey, seriously? All I can do is give a bless your heart and walk away.
Yes. Bless your heart. See, no one says that up here because I'm in I already know where I am. Don't come get me. I'm in Providence. So no one really says bless your heart, really meaning what I mean when I'm like, bless your whole little prayer list. Like no one does that. So half the time when I'm like reading someone, they feel like they're being read, but they can't put their finger, on why or how it's happening or how to prevent it from happening again. And like, just read more. Read the required reading list. We'll start there.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I'll wait. That's why I have to be in a college class. These were like 17-year-olds. They would be feeling in their feelings, like getting bulk, and I'm like,
Yeah.
How are you mad at me that you didn't do the reading?
I remember a high school class where like there was full on crying because like the one kid that like was like completely ignorant to stuff. He was like, "But why do they get Martin Luther King Day off? Like, why is that a holiday?" And it turned into like it was just full blown, and it was.
Can we just address the why do they?
Yeah.
Right.
In this case, they was the United States because we're in Canada and we don't get it off.
I see.
Oh, okay. I was like,
They had me triggered.
Right.
She was like, why are you using fighting words in a classroom?
Okay, so y'all, I went to this 2-year school in this like really small town. Like when I tell you small, there's like a Sonic and that's it, like a Sonic and a Dollar General, and that's it. They got one traffic light, like period. And so in this school that I'm at, there is this high school, and they didn't get off for Martin Luther King Day. And the reason they didn't get off was because there were not enough black students at the school. I was like, say what now? I said, so you mean the man who marched for all people to be treated equal, we can't celebrate his day because we not black? I was like, I would have been the one white kid protesting the fact that y'all won't let me off. Like, y'all wouldn't, no, y'all not going to rip me off of my day off from school.
Not rip me off.
That was a legit thing. Like, it in our entire state, my whole life we've gotten off. But in this one little town, because there's one black family, they do not get off for school for Martin Luther King Day.
Wow. I would pull my children out from school for that day and be like, it's a religious holiday.
Yes, religious holiday. Who gonna check you? I would be just like this. It's a religious holiday. Something to say?
Yeah.
Something to say? Because you already tried it, having me be up here for this.
And
children and the games they play. That's why I can't leave my house right now.
Oh man, do we want to try and do like a quick cool down sprint? Do we want to do like a 5 minutes?
That works.
I'm about to bust these 5 minutes open. We're gonna see
not turn these 5 minutes out. Goodness. All right, KaShay. Get it how you live.
Oh gosh,
yeah,
right.
I've been slacking. I only got like 300 words so far today, so I gotta make something happen in these 5 minutes.
Got like 280 more than me, so winning.
Oh gosh.
Back to the great outdoors. This is more outside than I've been all darn year, at least in 6 months.
Oh man. Jessica says, I think y'all are killing Grayson.
What a way to go, though. Laughing.
Right? Alrighty.
That feels like a success for Black people, I'm just going to say.
Yeah. 5 minutes. Here we go. Get whatever you can get done. The sprint is over. I'm gonna assume that nobody got a huge amount done because it's 5 minutes, but felt like I had to squeeze that last sprint in there.
Productivity.
Yeah. Something is.
All I needed was 20 words.
Did you get the 20 words?
No, I got 12.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to laugh at you.
I don't know how many I got, but for the entire stream, the 3 sprints, I got 364. So that's how many I got.
That's a more helpful question. How did the sprints go for you?
Let's see. 56 words.
Yay!
I'm just learning how to work Scrivener on this. Hold on.
Yeah, Scrivener is
That's a word processor, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to teach myself.
I love Scrivener though so much, but yeah, you kind of just end up like highlighting your words.
I'm doing that in Word. What's the difference?
I got 900 words from the zero draft and 119 words written today.
Yay!
Nice.
That's you.
Awesome.
I'm really trying to just speed through changing this from past to present, and it's kicking my ass. I can't lie to you.
That's really
See, and I'm trying to do the opposite with my murder mystery. Like, I try to write it in present. I was like, I like how Tommy and N.K. Jemisin do it. I'm going to try it. And I read it, and I was like, nah, your name is KaShay for a reason. So I went back and I wrote it the other way. The way that KaShay writes. And it sounds so much better. But I was trying to switch it up. Like, I'm going to try to be brave. Nah, stick with what you know.
But at least you tried, though. At least you tried.
Right.
Oh man, yeah. Tenses are hard. I can't switch it once I've started because once I've finished, I can't switch it and go back because then I do poorly, and that's when I like try to make my middle grade like past in third person, and my agent was like, in the nicest way possible because she's nice like that, you can't just change the words from I to the character name. And I was like, yes, you found out.
You found that. I'm sorry. Whoops.
Yeah.
I was just going to slide it past you. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
How can I describe a worn down house? A shack? A shanty? No one says shanty anymore. This is a word for you.
I think of shandy, and then I'm just like thirsty, and so I don't use it.
See, so when I think of shanty, I think of like shanty town. So I think of like reconstruction, like stuff like that. Like, that's like when I use it. So like for future Penelope Curve stories in the collection, shanty will be the word that's in there.
Amen.
Yeah.
If you Google shanty, though, you get some really dilapidated. That's another one. Dilapidated. You get some really dilapidated structures.
Dilapidated.
See, look, great mind.
And Michael.
Yes, like a sea shanty.
Yeah, that's what I think of.
All the ones on Google are land-based. Google, you forsaken me again. That's why I say Google is not an educator.
Or as Marissa says, you cannot do research with Google.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's a starting point, like Wikipedia. You can start there if you want to ask a question. That's fine, but please let's not end at Wikipedia. Let's just go there to get some questions.
Yeah, I remember when I was in school, bringing Wikipedia up was an automatic 0 on you.
Yeah.
Like you
don't even say a W word.
Like you better not Wiki. Wiki
have none of the things.
You better be on EBSCO. You better be on EBSCO with your research, getting peer reviewed papers.
I need some JSTOR up in there, like Muse. Listen,
So it was
like blasphemy.
Scrolling down to the sources.
And that's what I learned, and that saved me.
Yeah, that saved me.
No, we had to march ourselves down to the library.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And the good
I was also a terrible
encyclopedias? Y'all remember encyclopedias?
Yep.
Those things that kids these days know nothing about.
Y'all remember almanacs?
Yo.
Atlases.
Barely.
I haven't seen an almanac in like 2 decades.
I don't think I ever actually saw an almanac. I have heard about them, and I knew vaguely what I would refer to one for. But even now, I'm sort of like, almanac, is that for geography?
I just think of Farmer's Almanac, but I do have an almanac in my book. They have like a witch's almanac.
I now need
I
to
like
just
the way
Google
that
what the
it's
plain
out.
almanac is. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I now know that I did not know what an almanac was. I never knew.
What does it say it was? Maybe I don't know what it is.
So the Old Farmer's Almanac came up. You spoke it up onto my computer, with your stuff. And it says the Almanac is an annual publication listing a set of events forthcoming in the next year. It includes information like weather forecasts, farmers, planting dates, tide tables, and other tabular data, often arranged according to the calendar.
Period.
Huh.
Okay, so that's different than what I thought it was too.
That's also what I thought.
That is not like what I knew an almanac to be. So that's interesting.
That isn't. But
You
nobody
learn something
talks about it
every
in
day.
copy edits, so maybe it's okay.
Maybe they don't know what it is either. They were like, is that what an almanac is? Is that what an almanac is? Sure. Lizelle gets it today. Like,
Although
I
when
can-
the reviews come in, like she
I'm
was
sorry.
All right, somebody be like, this is not an almanac. This is not it is now. Okay.
First of all, I said it was a witch's almanac, so my almanac is not your almanac. My almanac, your almanac, we all almanac.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna use.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, tell them to mind the business that what pays them. Moving on.
Period.
The map one is an atlas. I believe so, Jessica. That's what I firmly believe. I have to know something.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. Atlases are maps.
Sam, I gotta know what you use an almanac for.
Who's using an almanac? I still use an almanac. Okay, writer Sam. For what?
Yeah. Sam, what are you using your almanac for?
Me and the entire time stay evil. All right, Grayson.
Okay, now first of all,
Be that way.
on land raising animals, so I'm not super city now. We just never. That farmer almanac.
You still got a little city though. Still got a little city. I would say I don't see almanacs here in Austin, but back home, they're on the wall. We walk into the house, it's right there in front of your face. And that's because our family does grow things. We do have crops, we do have farm animals. So every day, like they're looking through, like, what's the season looking like? Ooh, what's going on here? So it is something that is constantly used. I don't talk about it with daily people like here because everyone looked at me like, what the heck is that?
That's what Sam said. Farming.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
Like that was your Bible. You had to know, like, ooh, okay, today's a good day to actually start preparing for next week, and you kind of had to look at it.
I see. So before there was a Google weather situation, we had the almanac.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
I'm country, but I'm not agricultural country.
I'm with Jessica. We definitely just winged it. Like we would look up stuff for like planting stuff, but for the animals, like yeah.
Not where he wouldn't bleed bad.
Made the appointment on a day where he wouldn't bleed bad.
Good gracious.
Yeah, like if this is your bread and butter, like if you're growing stuff because you're gonna make money, you kind of need an almanac. If you're doing it just to do it, it doesn't really matter.
I see.
Cool. That was exciting. We learned
The
something.
more you know, right?
Yeah.
The more you know, the more you grow.
Hold on. So Vicky Fox is in the comments, and Vicky is the person who got into my comments on a video to suggest the Black Author Tube tag. So I want to shout her out because this is the first time I've seen her in a while. And so I don't know if you've seen my channel, but there is the Black Author Tube tag that has been done. And Vicky was a part of making that a thing. So I wanted to shout out.
Shout out to Vicky.
So keep that avatar though.
Yeah. We love
Come
an
on, Ed.
Love it.
Oh, Ed. The sweetest pile of metal I've ever known. Learning with Lizelle. Indeed, Jessica. Learning with Lizelle.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I guess we're at the end of this live. I'm gonna let everybody do your little outro, plug your plug, say all the things you want to say, and we're gonna start with Davaisha.
Oh, damn! How did I end up in this second square when I was down here to begin
Because I
with?
keep moving around.
Yeah.
You can't catch me.
Hi, my name is Davaisha. My channel is Grapefry. I post videos sometimes, and you should follow me on Instagram at How to Eat Fried Grapes. That's it.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm KaShay. I write short stories, poetry, and the occasional blog post. I have a short story that came out on Wattpad. It is Penelope's Curse, Sophie's Story, and you can find that in me on everything at 50 SO Shay.
Drop the link.
I'll drop the link if you're bad.
I did. It's in there. Can y'all see it? Can everybody see it? Because I know I'm not like a moderator, so it might not. I don't know if you can see it.
I might have to. It's not saying anything to me.
I put it in the private chat too.
Yeah.
Just in case.
If you put it in the private chat, then I can post it. My keyboard.
I was like, this is my channel. I have all the power.
Not. This isn't my choice. Grayson, go ahead.
What to do, everybody? My name is Grayson Wilde, and I write with pride. KaShay, I see you. Yes. I like diving into fantasies and into warm mugs of coffee. My Instagram is grayson.wild. That's wild with an E. I'm still trying to work through my vlog because editing is a bit slow. This computer's old. So I'm slowly trying to work through it. I should have had that vlog up forever ago, but if this doesn't work, I don't know what to do, y'all. We'll figure out a way, though. So, yeah, thank you for being patient with me. I appreciate it.
Hey.
I don't have an official sounding intro outro like Shay and Grayson. They got the whole little paragraph set up. But I'm Britt Writerly. My channel is Britt Writerly. I talk about literature and culture. My latest video is about Malcolm X, Megan Thee Stallion, and misogyny. Check it out. And I share original content. So what I was working on today, Tales of Eliza Black, is a serial that I write exclusively for my channel. So you check out the Tales of Eliza Black playlist and get some Black spec fic about a Black girl who hears the voices of abducted Black girls.
Amazing. Everybody is linked in the description. Follow everyone. They're awesome people. And yeah, thanks so much for coming, everybody.
Add Blood Like Magic to your Goodreads.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah, come on, promo that book, girl.
I think I do that if you're on my channel, you already know about it. But anyway, my debut Blood Like Magic comes out in summer 2021 from Margaret Clay McIntyre, aka Simon & Schuster. And it's about a family of Black witches living in a near future Toronto. And yeah, that's it.
Add it to your Goodreads.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks for coming. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.